This is a Onan 5 kilowatt gas generator that's out of a 70s motorhome. Now everything that you see here, besides the brand new off-the-shelf parts, was bought off of Facebook Marketplace. Now I feel like you see a lot of these generator enclosures that are like attached to someone's house. It sits behind. It's like one of those little garden shacks. I feel like more people should adopt using these, because this aluminum toolbox came off of a semi-truck trailer. Now when they scrap those trailers, or they change them out, either you can find a lot of these on Marketplace for relatively cheap. I got this enclosure for about $100. And all said and done, everything on this generator cost me probably about $600 for like everything. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and show what's going on inside of here. Now if you get one nice, you can have one that locks. Let me turn on the lights. Got an ignition switch for accessory power. So everything that's going on right here is, first we'll start up top with this 14-gallon gas tank. That was a transfer tank for sitting in the back of a truck, or really any tank will do. There is an onboard fuel pump on these Onan generators that will pull the fuel out of any tank or whatnot. I got that for like $40. And we go down here, we have our Onan gen set, which it's a kilowatt. We got a 5 kilowatt unit. Now this is basically the same engine as a Onan P26. I have no idea if I even got that right. But it's the same engine that's in that John Deere 318. Same seals and everything. A little off topic. Yeah, this unit works pretty good. I had an oil leak with it. Changed the seals and changed the oil pressure sensor, since it was flipping, gushing oil out of it. It was blowing oil all out of this thing. Had issues with the ignition system, so I changed over to this. You probably won't have to do that if you get one of these generators. But for cooling, I have two temperature controlled fans. These are just automotive fans ripped right off Amazon, with two $7 temperature control units. They run off a switch and they are relayed. They have a relay that kicks them on and off at certain set points. Now this is in Celsius, and that'll kick on and keep things relatively cool. I have these set to kick on at 55 degrees Celsius. I'll put the conversion in there if I feel like I want to edit it in there. Then we have our giant ass battery, which for this I wanted to use a marine deep cycle RV battery. Figured it'd be a little better for it, because we don't really have the best charging system on here, since the charging system inside this generator took a crap with the ignition system. And we have this power supply that came from Amazon. You can get these power supplies for like $20-$30. And then for our output, to see our voltage and everything, we have a kilowatt that'll show us our voltage, frequency, power factor, a lot of shit. It's really cool. I recommend getting one of those. That's $30. Now, lo and behold, let's start this thing up. Now, I just had this thing running, but normally when I first come out to it, kick on the fuel pump. Now, this tank should theoretically last me 3 days of run time, no matter what load on max. Now the reason I wanted to build this is I'm going to be moving to a house where the power quality ain't the best, and most people out there have good quality generators. And I was like, screw it, I want something a little more beefier. I was really wanting to go with a shack that would go behind the house, and that's what I was going to build that into, and I couldn't find the garden shacks. Those garden shacks are about $200. And I said, screw it, I'm trying to do this on a budget. And in my opinion, it probably looks better than a shack. I'm gonna polish up the metal so it looks a lot nicer. Now don't worry about it, this is just for the trailer jack. I couldn't really get a good quality jack in there due to the size of this trailer. Go ahead and shut this up, make it a little quieter in here. So, air gets sucked into these fans when they kick on. Right now there's just air just getting pulled in there naturally from the onboard fan of the generator. And it's kicking hot air out these vents. Which, when this thing was leaking oil, it was blowing about a quart of oil all over the place. But now that it's not leaking anything, it's like a nice warm heater on a cold day to sit here. It's really nice. Now this little thing, that's with the crankcase breather. You shouldn't have to do that on yours if you do the same unit that I got. They have a crankcase breather already built into the thing. I just wanted it. I was just having some issues and I decided just to route one out the top. Now for sealing these things, that's power output out of this thing. We have an outlet inside and outside. Now back to the topic, for sealing the whole little holes and stuff, I'm working on that. I'm going to use some aluminum tape and make it look pretty nice, and then I'm going to clean up the hole and this whole trailer. I'll polish it, make it look nice, because it's going to be sitting behind my house and I want it to not look like a pile of crap. One day I might paint that tank so it's like black or just white. I'll probably go with white to keep the fuel from evaporating out of it. But yeah, it's a pretty good unit. Lately I don't get any problems with it. The only time I get problems out of the Onans usually is like when it's cold for startup. Now this one they should have electronic chokes on them, but this one doesn't. So that's why when I started this thing, you saw me fiddling with it and it wasn't sounding right, because I was manually setting it, and sometimes it moves by itself. That one over there has a choke on it, but the resistance is so high on the choke cable that it doesn't move it around as much, so you don't have to adjust it. But once you get this thing hot and running right, you don't really have to screw with anything. It runs pretty good. Well, enough of me blabbering. I'll go ahead and walk back a little bit and you can kind of hear how loud it is from far away. Now, when I first bought this thing, it was louder than hell. It's not all that bad. Look what I picked up for $100. Ow, damn it, fucking trailer hitch. I just stepped in a fucking puddle. Fucking bitch. Look at this old turd. That'd be cool. It's an old 5 kilowatt generator out of a fucking motorhome. I'm gonna convert this into a standby generator. You fucking mint. Same engine as a John Deere. Woo! Sucker's been running all day. Some oil leak, that's no oil. Suck it. Probably drank about 2 gallons of gas. Okay, I made this big ass fucking thing. How the fuck am I gonna get this back into my truck? It's fucking mint though. Got this fucker loaded.